What up, everybody? It's your boy Casey Cox, and you already know where you at. You right here with me in the Red Pill. I'm back with another video. Last time I was touching base on some of that high value talk, high value male talk out there. You know, I was waded into that red pill pool, and I'm about to jump back into it. Another one. Let's get it. All the real high value men, please stand up. All right, let's get into this. Now, last time I touched on this a little bit. You know, I laid out some stuff, but I'm going to dive into it a little bit more. So, one of the things that kind of strikes me out about this high value male thing and the way they talk about it and what they basically describe as being, you know, high value, some of the traits and some of the qualities and some of the things that make you quote unquote a high value male are things to me that would basically have you attracting low value women, which doesn't make sense, but that's just how I see it. Because a lot of the things that they talk about is really superficial. You know, they're really superficial things. You know, it's about having wealth, or at least again, that's it, the appearance of having wealth. You know, being pre-selected by other women, and obviously some of them really make a big thing about being in shape, going to the gym and getting all these muscles and being ripped and all that other type of stuff. And it's really superficial kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to be financially stable in life and all of that. That's cool. But they put a lot of emphasis on like having a lot of money, like, you know, materialistic stuff, walking around looking materialistic. You know, a lot of these guys, you'll see that they wear this a lot of materialistic things. You know, they're in these cars and they're trying to give off this image that they're so some kind of celebrity or something like that. And I get it that they feel like this works on the psyche of the woman because because according to them, women are always looking for the come up. They're always looking for, you know, some kind of resource. So if you're someone who looks like you have a lot of resource, you got money, you got cars, you got whatever, then these are the things that's going to make women, you know, crazy about you and make them want you and stuff like that. But the key, as I said, to me, those are low value type women. And again, it's not to say that women shouldn't want a man that can bring something to the table, that they should want bums. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're saying that you want that you're out here looking for women that choose you solely because of what they feel like you have material wise, that's a low value woman, because they don't know anything about you as a person. They don't know anything about any of those other intangibles that you may or may not have. That's much more important. But they're choosing you, and they will choose you over someone else that they barely know, simply because they feel like you got money. You look like you got money. You look like you got resource. You look like you got a chiseled body and things like that, because they're looking at very superficial things. Their mindset is very superficial. And again, in my opinion, a female with a superficial mindset is low value. That's low value. This is not the type of woman that's gonna be there to hold you down should things go left a little bit. They're not concerned about that. These type of females that when things start to go left, they gone. Because like you say, like they love to say, they're all about the hypergamy, right? So as soon as things start to go left, or they come across somebody who they feel got more than you gone. And I get it. They might be like, well, yeah, that's why, you know, we understand female, quote unquote, female nature. And yeah, that's why we don't sweat them like that. We smash them and do whatever, and we're ready to let them go. But, you know, realistically, you know, all that sounds good. All that type of machismo talk sounds good, but we're all humans. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're talking about trying to keep women in some kind of rotation, right, that would usually mean that you have to put a little bit more on the table besides, you know, as some of them like to say, digging those juicy guts and all that and kicking them to the curb. You got to put a little bit more than that, which means there's going to be a little bit more time spent, a little bit more effort spent, because again, any type of female that has any sense of any kind of dignity for herself or any type of respect for herself, even if they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna be cool with a situation where a guy, you know, just want to be friends with benefits, they don't really want anything further than that, I'm cool with that. but they're gonna still at least require a little bit more than just only time you call me or reach out for me is when you're looking for me to fuck or suck or something. If you kick me to the curb, again, any female that not say high value, but maybe just even quote unquote, medium value is going to be like, nah, you need to put a little bit more on the table than that. Which means, so my thing is, if you're going to be doing this, that means what? As human nature dictates, attachments and things like that is going to come into play. On her side, his side, there's going to be some type of attachment. There's going to, even if on his side it feels like a territorial thing. The point is, other things are going to come into play. So it's not going to be so easy to just be, smashing and throwing them out the window, because you've been putting a little bit more effort. And like I said, that's just looking at things realistically. Of course, a lot of these guys don't look at things realistic. So they feel like, yeah, they're just going to be able to live in this fantasy world where they could just pull these chicks and be smashing them and throwing them away. And I guess, and again, I guess if you're not worried about having the rotation and you're just happy with, okay, I grab a chick, and if you have a little quick one-time thing, then that's good. But if you're one of these guys that's talking about trying to keep a rotation, as I said, realistically with these rotations, you're going to have to put a little bit more on the table besides, hey, come pleasure me and then leave. Because most chicks are not going to go for that. They're going to want a little bit more. Even if it's just sitting in the crib, eating Chinese food, watching HBO Max for a little while with them, playing some spades or phase 10 something. The point is, you got to put a little bit more on the table. You understand what I'm saying? So, so the thing is, you're going to be pulling towards you low value females. These not going to be high value females. Because a high value woman, in my opinion, is going to be someone who, it's okay to be attracted to certain things. It's okay because these little things catch your eye and stuff. That's cool. But what's gonna make them actually value you and want to, stay around you is going to be other things besides the material, superficial, surface level stuff. You're going to have a little bit more going on with you in order to keep them interested in you. It's not just going to be, boy, he got a car, I saw his watch, he looked like he got money, I saw him jogging or something, he looked like he got muscles, and I'm sprung, that's it, that's all I need. No. A more high value woman is going to do a little bit more than that. Because why? Because she's going to be looking at a lot of those other intangibles that's there. And if you don't have a lot of these other intangibles, she's going to be gone. She's not going to try to stick around. She's not going to allow herself to be treated in a certain type of way simply because of your material shit. Because you feel like I got it like that, and you should feel lucky to be with me. So you should allow yourself to be subjected to certain treatment for unfavorable treatment from me, because no, a high value female is not going to be about that. Now, of course, a lot of y'all might think there ain't no high value females like that. All these females out here doing this, all these females out here are messed up, and that's just not true. There may be a common thread as far as like, because of course there's a basic need or want to be provided, to make sure you got somebody that can provide and have resource. Of course, there may be a common thread as far as, yeah, you want the best that you want the best option that you can get, right? You want the best as far as, but individually, because again, every woman is not the same. Every woman, don't necessarily like or want the same thing out of a man. So these are things that again, a lot of these guys don't differentiate. They just broad stroke everything. And so that's the first thing they don't really look at. So the thing is, of course, there may be a common thread of, they all want that, but it's different. And of course, the difference is some women will go about getting their best options in different ways. Some females, yes, they will go and they will do the going out behind your back and cheating with the next guy and doing all these things. They feel like he'll come up, he got more money, he got this. Some females, yes, they'll go that route because maybe, that's the only way they know how to go about things. Some females will do that. Some women, they will actually take the time to properly vet men and do their diligence, and then they will choose the best guy that they come across, whatever it is, and they'll go that route. They won't go do all that cheating stuff. They won't go through that process. Their process would be different. that process to be different. Every female doesn't do everything the same way. But again, that they don't make that type of they don't differentiate in that way. They again, it's the broad stroke. All females are out here looking for to come up. They all out here, they all want the next big thing. They all like this and that and the third. And as I said before, I've said this under somebody's video. It was one of these pages. I think it's I think it was the roommates or somebody like that, and they said something like it was one of these little messages things. It wasn't a video, but it was like a little paragraph, and it said something like, there's some men out here that, I'm paraphrasing here, that complain about women not desiring them or something like that. So, but instead of complaining, you should work to become the type of man that all women would desire. And I had to comment to that, and I said something along the lines of, it's not possible to be the type of man that every woman would desire, because not all women desire the same things. And of course, one or two people came in and responded saying things like, no, every woman want this, every woman want that. And as I said, yeah, every woman might want to, of course, every woman might want to be happy. Every woman might want the best, this and the third. But the difference is this. I just to give you an example of this one thing. Of course, every woman may want to be happy. Every woman wants to be happy, right? The thing is, what makes each woman happy will be different. That's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. There may be, yes, a common thread. They want to be happy. They want the best option. They want the best thing, whatever it is. But the difference is, for these different women, what makes them happy, what will be the best thing to them will be different. It won't all be the same thing. They won't all want the same thing. So for some women, the high value male will be the guy that got the foreign car, he got the money, he got the wealth, he got all these things. He's a high value male. To another woman, a high value man would be something totally different. So that's another thing. I listen to guys like, you hear guys like Kevin Samuels out there telling females that they'll never be able to get a high value man because you look like this, because you look like that, and he has his sliding scale that he came up with, whatever he came up with it. I don't know where he created that. That's his thing. He probably came up with it sitting on the toilet one day taking a dump, and he's like, oh, my Kevin Samuels sliding scale of high value. Let me write this down on this piece of tissue before I flush or something. I don't know where he came up with that, but he got his own thing. And so he's telling these females, you're this, you're adjustable this, you're a sliding that, you're 6 adjustable 3, and so you'll never be able to get a high value man. You'll never be able to have a value man. But the key is this, that high value is subjective. Just like everything else in this world is pretty much subjective. So what he feels is high value, that's his interpretation of high value. When you have, you have these different women that are in these different places and spaces and different circles in their life, what may represent high value to them may be something totally different than what he feels high value is. So in their world, in their circle, in their corner of the globe, their slice of the pie, they may very well be able to get a high value male because it's what they consider a high value. See, everybody's not up there in that circle to be getting the power broker guy that got all this going on. According to Kevin Samuels, who's been making, I think what he said, they got to be making $10,000 a month or something like that for at least however many years for him to consider you high value. Again, this is his system he came up with wherever. He sat down and put that together somewhere. He came up with that. But I'm just saying, not everybody's in these circles to meet these type of people are where they're at. So you got to look at what people where they are. Where this person is, a high value man may represent something else. May represent a guy that has a pretty good job. He's working. He's bringing something to the table. He's stable in his mind. He's stable in his heart. He know what he wants. He's not out here on this crap stuff that's running around in the street. To in this corner of the globe, this slice of the pie, That's a high value man right there. And she may well be able to get that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the key. This is the keys that I'm talking about here. These are things I'm talking about. It's like it's this high value male thing is all over the place. And as I said, I feel like a lot of the stuff they talk about is very superficial. It's very, I don't know where they get this stuff from. And as I said, the bottom line is I feel like it will be bringing you low value women. If you're out there basing your value as a man on your wallet or what kind of car you driving or whatever, that's not much. I mean, it's I guess it's much because again, I guess a lot of this is predicated on the, this what they call it, the quote unquote, dating marketplace or the sexual marketplace, again, wherever these things came from. I guess it's a thing. I don't know. I mean, I've only heard of it, I guess, recently. I don't know who came up with it. I don't know where it came from. Again, somebody sat down somewhere and was like, hey, there's this dating marketplace, and I feel like this is either you're high or you're low, and these are the things that make you high on it. These are the things that make you low on it. I don't know. But again, I'm not going to date myself, but I've been walking around on this planet for a while. I've been out here dating, doing things. And a lot of this stuff that I hear people talk about, like, you'll be low on the dating thing. You won't be able to get this or these things happen if you don't have these things. I'm here to tell you that a lot of that stuff I've never had. A lot of these techniques and things you're doing, I've never done. And I've never really had a problem, having girlfriends or dating or whatever. Now, I'm not saying I've had a whole slew. I've had a whole, a bunch, but I've been out. I've had, I haven't had problems. And basically, as I said, I haven't had to have all of those things going on that they would say this is required. This is what's required to be successful in the dating marketplace or in the sexual marketplace. You got to have this or that, or if you don't have this or you don't have that, you're not going to be successful at all. Those things have never been a problem for me. And I think that stuff is a lot like religion. A lot of this red pill stuff, a lot of these things are not really things. It's a lot like religion. Because let's say you have a child, or that's just born, that's growing up, or even right now, you may have people that's living in certain corners of the world that haven't been touched in certain ways, right? And so, you have the Bible and all this Jesus stuff and all these things. Now, the thing is, it doesn't become a thing to a person's life until you come and tell them about it. Like a person living in a certain area of the globe, in some jungle somewhere, in some untouched area of the globe where everybody is still, super native, that haven't been touched by, our modern civilization. They don't know nothing about that Jesus stuff. They don't know nothing about none of that. They go by whatever they go by. They have their spiritualness. They have their whatever it is they go by. It's when those missionaries come landing over there and they say, hey, look, let me show you this book. Let me show you this Bible. Let me tell you about Jesus. Then that's when it becomes a thing to them. Now they become aware, like, what is this Jesus stuff? And then if they decide to believe in it, then that's when it becomes a thing. Just like with a child, you have a child that's born, they don't know nothing about anything that's going on in this world. So again, this Jesus stuff, this religion and these requirements, and now all of a sudden this is the way they got to live their life, and then they start feeling like they're doing something wrong. If they're not doing these things, none of that becomes a thing to them until you introduce it to them. And then my thing is, if this is something that you have to work to convince someone that this is true, then a lot of times it's like, because if this was just like universal kind of, this is what it is, then you would kind of, it wouldn't have to be introduced to you, because nobody had to introduce breathing to you, right? Nobody had to introduce eating to you. We just knew how to eat. Whether it was as babies, you get on the nip and you pull the milk, and after that you put it in. Nobody had to introduce like, hey, eating is a thing. Like all this time you've been living without eating, and then somebody had to come and say, hey, eating is a thing, right? You can get into eating and try eating. You just do it. So if somebody got to come telling you, hey, you might not be a high value male. What do you mean? Let me introduce you to this high value male stuff. It's now my thing with high value males, I do feel like, you know, there should be more discourse on being a high value male, but my thing is, what is high value to me is totally different. I do feel like, uh, red pill is a good thing, but again, my version of red pill is something different. Because yes, men should open their minds and open their eyes to reality of things that's going on in the world. But again, excuse me, in my version of that, it goes way beyond females and worrying about females. You know, we need to be waking up ourselves and our fellow brothers, and we should be having brotherhood about real stuff that's going on. We need to be waking up our brothers and opening our eyes to being men in real deep ways, beyond just being valuable in some kind of dating marketplace, or being valued sexually, or watch out for the big bad female out there. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more on our plates as men that we're not dealing with, that I feel like needs to be addressed. And this whole red pill type of manosphere thing needs to kind of be remolded, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going on with it now is a whole lot of nonsense. And I get it, people are making money off of it, people getting $1 off of it, but at the same time, it's like it's silliness. You know what I'm saying? And my only problem with it is that you have a lot of young, impressionable, up and coming minds that can stumble onto these type of videos, and then it's kind of like it's poisoning their minds a certain way before they need to be worrying about these type of things. You could be setting them up to go into situations with females already feeling tainted, but nobody didn't even do anything to them. So they go into these situations already set on basically neglecting the situation and already ruining the relationship before it even started. Because again, they start listening to these videos and they're already, what they call it, these are scared straight, like don't do this with females, because they're out to get you, they're gonna eat you, they're gonna kill you, they're just the worst thing in the world. So you're already filling their minds with all of this stuff. Because sure, there's a lot of people that come into your videos, they're already like-minded, they're already like-minded, stumbling into these videos. They already feel this way. So you're not telling them anything they don't already feel, because they've been through whatever. But as I said, you're going to have a lot of young, impressionable, up and coming minds that will start to stumble onto these videos at young ages, before they even really got out there and got into anything. And y'all already telling them, based off of 1 or 2, maybe 3 bad experiences you might have been through your life, that women are the devil. The women is this. They're all out to get you. They all this. They all that. So don't do this. Don't treat them like this. Don't validate them. Don't do anything. Because if you do all of this, they're automatically gonna go want some 6-foot guy with dreads, alpha male, and you're gonna be sucking them off while you at work everywhere. And you're already like putting all this type of paranoia into their head. And then you're telling them like things like, you're not an alpha male, you're not a real man, a quote unquote alpha male, because if you do this type of thing. If you basically attempt to do right where it's applicable to be doing right, then that something's wrong with you. You're not a real man. But in reality, if you're trying to do right by somebody where it's applicable to do right, and then you'll see that they're having an adverse reaction to that, then there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. That's something wrong with them. Not you. There's something wrong with them. So what you do is, cool, you see that, you close up shop and you move on. But you don't stop being who you are. You don't stop attempting to do right out here because somebody else again, had an adverse response to being treated right. That means something is wrong with them. Think about that. Think about that. If all you're doing is try to do right by this person, when you're supposed to, because again, I mean, is it the point of to get into a relationship with somebody to do them wrong, to not treat them right? I'm gonna make you my lady not to support you or do anything? That don't make sense, right? So if you're trying to do the right thing, where it's applicable to do right, where it makes sense to do right, and someone is having an adverse response to that, they're oh my God, they're acting crazy. That makes you wrong. Something's wrong with you. No, something is wrong with them. So for y'all to be out there, for these guys to be out here telling these young men coming up that you're supposed to automatically go into these relationships already set on fuck shit, because basically going into a relationship that you're not going to actually put any real time into is fuck shit. That you're really not going to put any real effort into is fuck shit. That's you're already setting it up for that. Because you're going into it telling them, hey, don't validate women. You're your lady. Don't tell her anything good. Don't tell her, whatever if she comes to you and say, hey, I need this and the third, do the opposite, because somehow this is going to make her want you more. Now, yeah, you may you may be able to play this cat and mouse back and forth where she's like coming back and forth, but it's toxic. You have her attention in a way, but it's very toxic attention. And I'll dive deeper into that in another video. But that's what it is, man. It's basically set up to fail. You're basically setting up a lot of young men to fail. And I said I'll get deeper into all that. It's another video. I'm not trying to be too long-winded, but I could talk about this. I can get into this stuff. There's a lot to get into. There's going to be a few more parts to this. So, but with that being said, man, I want my men out here to really think about what I'm saying. To think about what I'm saying. The red pill is good, but it needs to be remolded. The idea of building high value men is excellent, but I think we need to tear that up and get a new blueprint of what we're talking about here. All right. So with that being said, man, hit my comment section. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments. It's encouraging. It's welcome, man. We can chop it up and go back and forth, man. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and come on back, man. Because like I said, I got a lot more about this to talk to. I got a lot more to get into, man. I'm about to go deep. I'm about to go real deep, All right. So next time, my brothers, stay up, stay strong, and let's get it.